There it goes.
Hi.
Hello.
So this morning, it was a beautiful morning. My drink is across the room. I woke up, I was sitting outside in my bathrobe, scrolling
My God.
through with my coffee, trying to make my list of like things I was going to do. And I opened up my phone and I saw that we were recording a podcast today. And I was like, I think I have stuff to do. But
Our energy is going to be weird today because it's a Sunday. And
it is. And I think it's extra weird that we are recording an episode about faculty balance on a Sunday afternoon.
I thought about that.
It is steeped in irony.
This is the only time we had to do it though.
That's why we had to do it. Welcome to Coffee Break Classroom, brewed for higher ed, where teaching meets good vibes. We're just two friends chopping it up. Here you can expect a blend of ridiculous classroom stories, a little educational research, and some practical teaching techniques. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk teaching without the grading. So here we are, about to start week 9 of the semester.
I know. It's a lot.
It's a
It's been a
lot.
lot.
It's been a
hmm
lot. Um, Welcome
So yeah,
everyone. Go ahead.
welcome to Coffee Break Classroom.
We're so tired.
There's not enough coffee in the world.
No, and
I
it's
think we were meeting like 2 days ago and we were just like, we don't have any more podcasts on the schedule. We need to do one. We were supposed to record on Wednesday, which would have was yesterday when we talked, and we were both like, yeah, we should do this. Like, we need to.
why didn't we record on Wednesday? Was it my
Well,
fault?
we were planning on having another guest who
Right.
we didn't wasn't available, and so then I think we just kind of stalled.
So it was partly that like I didn't ask her for weeks.
I
So
didn't want to put that out there. I was trying to save you that.
I own it. I own my
Okay,
shit
that's
most
fair.
of the time. Um and then actually Wednesday night I was phone banking.
Banking.
Oh, yeah. So, quick question. If you were sitting here on a random Wednesday night and you saw a phone call come through from an unknown number, would you pick it up?
Oh, absolutely not.
Who are these people answering phones? Like,
Yeah,
just,
voters.
just, wow. I mean, I'm a
Different
voter.
generation.
I would
Different
not.
generation.
Yes. So the weird
Yeah.
thing is, people who were like 24 and under answered the phone. One of whom was really high. I would like you to know. And then people who were like 60 and up answered the phone, but no one really in between, except for one person who English was their second language, and maybe they hadn't. They were from. It doesn't
We
matter.
haven't enculturated them enough yet to not answer
Correct,
their phone. Yeah.
correct. To know that when strangers call you, you hide at all costs. But
Good
I
grief.
spoke to a woman who was 96 years old this week, and I asked her to vote for our candidate that is supported by our union, and she was like, let me get a pen and paper. And then she was like, how do you spell his name? And it was the cutest interaction.
That's adorable.
It was so cute.
Did you get any secrets to life while you were there that you were gonna bring to us?
I don't think I like people all that much. I don't like
That's
calling
fair.
people, cold calling people.
This is why I didn't sign up for the phone banking, even though I felt a little bit bad about
The
it.
alternative activity was knocking on strangers' doors. At least this, I felt like my personal safety would not be at jeopardy at all.
See, I don't know if it's worse when to be like receiving a phone call like from an unknown number or to make a phone call knowing that it's going to be an unknown number. I have no interest.
I don't know. I don't know.
But either way, we missed our podcast recording, and then you were like, "What if we talk about faculty balance on a Sunday?"
I could use some faculty balance, so maybe we should think about this. In
I
summary,
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
we haven't mastered faculty balance, but that's what we're talking about tonight.
Yeah, I did a little bit of like, I wrote down some stuff beforehand because I was thinking about like what do I do to kind of help keep the balance. And part of this I will say is that this is fun for me to do this with you. So like it's not as much of like a stress to show up
Right.
and do it.
Right.
But I was taking some notes about some stuff that I do, and I figured you probably have done something similar. But then
Yep.
I was like, I'm just gonna make a quick Google. Like what like how do faculty like balance and like manage time? And I saw a couple different articles that I like didn't click on. I saw that there was one from like the professor's like Reddit thread that we had gone to, and I
Oh
opened that up.
boy.
So much of the advice was just like, just get tenure and then don't give a shit.
I'm concerned about the volume of time you're spending on Reddit these days. It is.
Whoa, no, let's not.
Is
Not
this like your
happening.
ramp up to becoming an internet troll? Oh, please say
Oh
yes.
God, no, at all. No, not at all. Not at all.
Fair enough.
I just because I had seen that for like that thread for what we had done for our office hours episode that I was like, oh, I'll click on this. But I had also clicked on an article from the Institute of Higher Education. So like
Ah.
the two extremes. I don't know.
Oh, for
Um,
sure.
but there was one that it was like there was an article called like the math doesn't work, and it was an inside higher education article by Nate Kreuter, and I'll link it in our episode description for this one. But it basically was a breakdown of like let's assume that we're working 60 hours a week. Like, and then like let's see how much time we actually have to do the things that we need to do, and it was like a whole breakdown. And I thought that would be interesting to talk about here in addition to just thinking about all of the stuff that we do, right? Because part of your pitch for this was both of us are going to be or do a lot of different things. We wear a lot of different hats. Like, how are we keeping it all together?
Yeah. So I thought about this before we got on today several times, and this is the conclusion I've come to is there actually is no balance. Like, and you
Yeah.
need to like let go of the idea that at some point you're going to find balance. Um I think that even in the quiet moments that a faculty member or anyone maybe who's like engaged in what they do, like
Hmm.
it like slips in, right? Like and so I think that you should just give give it up. Give up the idea that
Give up.
give
That's your
up the
advice.
search for balance and just know that there are ebbs and flows. And I
Mm.
think you have to prioritize three things. Whatever those three things are, set those priorities, make sure that every day you're intentionally doing something about those three things, and then just let go of the control that you already don't have.
Is that three things that are like work related or just three
Nope.
things, period? Like three things in your life
Three
that you
things
want to
in your
focus on?
life. Like
Okay.
today, I want to feel connected to my kids, or today, I want to feel
Yeah.
connected to my family or my friends.
Got
Whatever
it.
those three things are. Today, I want to organize my bedroom closet. I did that today.
Mm. And then you're like, I'm done.
I've made that progress.
That makes
Everything
me
else is gravy.
that makes me think about like that advice of like everyone is juggling a lot of different balls, and some of them are like made of rubber and some of them are made of glass, and it's just kind of a question of like knowing what it is that you can drop.
I like that. Wait, say
Yeah.
more. I like that. I've never heard that.
I don't know if I have more. Hold on.
No, is that just that? So that's the analogy is that you're.
Just some folksy wisdom. Yeah, I don't know. That like everyone like is juggling a lot of different like balls. Like some are rubber, maybe some are metal, maybe but like some of them are glass, and it's just knowing what are things that we can drop in any given moment. Like if we're all trying to balance a bunch of different things.
I think that's huge. Like, what is a
Yeah.
hard deadline and what is a soft? Like, I think that's super important.
Yeah. Yeah, that was definitely one of the biggest things that was the second thing on my well, the first thing on my list was scheduling. The second thing on my list
Mm-hmm.
was prioritizing, which is something that I think I've gotten really good at,
Yeah.
especially transitioning into the department chair position is just triaging responsibilities that I have. It's just like when it's like they're doing medical triage, it's some sort of emergency. It's like, okay, like you're going to be fine or like you need immediate treatment. Like, and it's that kind of thing where it's just like, okay, this is not something that like needs to be handled right now. Like I'm going to just like, it'll be there in a second. It'll be there tomorrow and I can take care of it then.
Is that how we end up with things that sit on our to-do list for like 6 months? Because I have those things.
It's how we end up with me not having submitted our own article to the Institute of Higher Education in 2 weeks. That's how that happens.
Wait, so is there stuff you want to glean from the article for on Inside Higher Ed?
Yeah,
Let's talk
I
about
I
that.
wanted to I wanted to talk about that. So this person was very clearly from a research institution because 10 of their 60 hours was like research.
Okay.
Like that was like not writing papers, but actually like doing the research and like
Yeah.
preparing doing the data analysis. Um, but like I was just like, okay, when I fill out like Gallup panels surveys, like I will usually say that I work about 50 hours a week. So like I decided to use that as my number.
Okay.
And then I was like, so if we use that 50 hours a week as like a community college and like educators, what
Okay.
does that look like? We have 15 hours a week in the classroom,
At
like
least.
is our requirement at least, but like that's our required like
Correct.
base. And so anything on top of that would then be automatically extra hours, right? So if I'm thinking about like 50 hours as a base and
Mm-hmm.
not thinking about teaching 3 or 4 hours on top of that, what does that look like?
And we have colleagues where their base is 20 hours a week in like some of our allied health fields.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I'm the
Okay.
contract administrator now.
You know
I
things.
have so many jobs. Anyway.
Yeah, and then we have a mandated 5 hour office hours also. So there's already 20 hours of our week that is just like in the classroom or like with students,
We
right?
haven't prepared anything. We're just there. Yes.
Right, exactly. And I like they estimated 10 hours for like service, which would be like meetings and department stuff and job searches, which again, all of that stuff is different and ebbs and flows like you had mentioned,
Yeah.
but like 10 hours on average for that. Um, I decided like 5 hours for class prep. So like writing exams, getting lectures together. I think that seems reasonable, especially when you're more into your career and you've been doing the same classes.
And you don't have
You still
like
have
new
to,
preps all the time.
right, when I don't, now that I am, don't have a new prep, it's great.
Yeah.
Um, but I still have to write exams and look over my notes and make sure I've got all the materials that I need and get
Show
kind
up
of that stuff set
prepared.
up.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, write my weekly recap emails, like all of that kind of stuff. Manage my bright space and the deadlines and like
Yeah.
all of the learning management software stuff. Um, so with all of that, like we're already up to 40 or 35 hours,
You haven't
right?
answered a single email.
I haven't answered a single, and that's it. So there's 15 hours left. And when I'm teaching like 15 contact hours, I still have like 80 students, depending in my classes.
Yeah.
So I only have 11 minutes per student for grading, correspondence, like anything else that's related to like working with that student individually. I'm just like 11 minutes per student to grade,
Per week.
like per week. Yeah,
Well, hopefully you keep them in your office hours. Maybe you can
maybe. Yeah.
So, I would say how many now that you're a department chair, how many emails would you think you average per day?
I can't even fathom what
Right.
that number is.
Right.
I go in 2 hours early just to sit and answer emails and like work on department chair stuff. Like it's a lot. I
Managing
actually have spent like 10-minute windows like walking from class to another room and like we'll have then 10 emails in my inbox some days. Like that's not a joke.
I would like an award for email management. Like keeping my inbox under 10 is like a goal for me every day. Like my chair laughs about it because she'll send me stuff and she'll be like, this has to get like, don't just delete this and assume that it's going to go away. Cause sometimes I do that because sometimes many things in your inbox are not actually like super duper important. And especially if you're like one of like 5 people on an email, chances are someone else might take, might be me and motivated to get it out of their inbox and just like answer it so it's gone.
Somebody told me yesterday. So I did for fun go like hiking around.
Good.
We went to Niagara Falls yesterday actually. So like
Oh.
I got to walk around with some folks, but
Mhm.
one of them like was like told me like they were sending an email on the drive back and they're like, and then I think I just played email chicken with somebody. Like them and like she and another person had both been asked to do something and hadn't responded for multiple
Oh,
days.
that is
And it was going to be
yes.
happening like today, like the next day. And like she felt bad enough that she responded. And within 30 minutes, the other person's like, thanks for taking care of that. Like, it sounds like you got it under control. She's like, I just played email chicken.
She lost. And she
She lost.
lost.
She lost.
You can only play for so long. It's true. It's true.
Yeah, so I use my mornings to answer emails, but I have also stopped stressing out about emails after work.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah. So one thing that I have incorporated into my life since the pandemic is a quiet morning, and it
Hmm.
helps. Things that help that are like not having small children. I definitely did not have a quiet morning for like a solid decade. Like, and so I think that's why I value them so much more now.
Hmm.
Having once you have teenagers, like you have to actively work to get them up in the morning. But like when you have to get people out of the house for buses and stuff like that, like it's like herding cats. It's like herding cats. So
Mm.
now I will 1,000% wake up early to have a quiet cup of coffee, and I have like my notepad every morning, and I sit there with my coffee, and I do have that moment to be like, what I look at my calendar, and I'm like, what are like a couple things that I need to get to today? What mindset do I have to be in to make it through today and get back into this chair at the end of the day and still feel okay? Like, like okay, I know
It sounds
today's
so bad.
no, but it's true because some days are
No, I know.
rough. Like tomorrow, for example. So this morning, and every Sunday, I have time where I look over the coming week and I'm like, all right, what do I need to be conscious of? Like this week, I looked ahead and I have 3 things to do at night during the week, which is already stressing me out. So I
Yep.
have to just be like, okay. So that means like I go to grad school still. So if I have grad school stuff to work on, which I do, this week I have to learn to make a sway. So this morning I had to watch videos while I was drinking my aforementioned coffee on like watching what a sway is, how do you make them, what are they used for, like that sort of stuff, some examples, right? So by Sunday, I already know where my pain points are going to be. And then every morning, I'm just like, it's like a little refresh.
Mm.
I sound
I,
insane for a person
I
who's like, whatever, just do what feels right.
Everything's fine. You just gotta like, let go of a bunch of stuff. And I sit there every morning and think about exactly what I need to do. No. And I obsess over it.
I
Uh,
do love a to do list. Oh my God.
like both of those things. Yeah, the to-do list was the first thing that I wrote down that helps a lot with balance. And this is like a conversation I have with my students too when we're talking about time management is I schedule things like I will sit down on Sundays or Monday morning usually, and I have like each day of the week like printed in like a box. So I have a like 2 column, like 3 row box. So it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday /
I've
Sunday in one
seen
box.
this printout of yours. I
You
thought it
have.
was psychotic, but I also kind of like it at the same
It's just more
time.
organized than what you're doing.
I want mine to feel like morning coffee. I don't.
Sure. But like I have the things on there, like the small things that I want to make sure that I don't forget. Like, oh, I want to send my weekly recap email, or I like this is when I'm going to carve out time for grading, or I'm going to make sure I print the quizzes that I need later in the week.
Okay.
Because if I do those things ahead of time, then like future me doesn't have to stress out about it.
Yes.
But at the same time, like current me can cross off the things for Monday, and then the Monday stuff is done, and it doesn't matter that like I have a whole bunch of stuff that I still have to get done for Tuesday. Like I can just leave that for Tuesday, and that has taken a lot of stress off of me as a person. I've actually been doing this for a couple years now at this point, um, where I can just kind of like be done at some point in the day, and it like
Yeah.
helps. Yeah.
So one of the things that I do, and this is a trick. So it helps my inbox and it also helps me being overscheduled. So to me, so I teach a lot of online classes, which doesn't mean I don't have work to do. It means
Hmm.
that like my work is not necessarily blocked off on my Outlook calendar.
Hmm.
So let's say an email comes in and it asks me to write up something and submit it. So like, for example, oh my God, so we're going to be featured in our upcoming daily email that goes out to the college in a couple of weeks. And the picture that we submitted was pixelated, and so she asked me to prefer a professional headshot. And she sent me an old professional headshot, and I was like 40 pounds heavier, and there's like no way I'm submitting that professional headshot. So
wait, I didn't get this email.
Well, because yours was they found a headshot from you. I don't know where your headshot is from, but she's got a headshot.
Okay.
Anyway, your headshot is done. So, but my headshot is like literally a decade old. So she was like, "Is this okay?" And I'm like, "Ah, hell no." But what I would do is I will take like 30 minutes and I'll block it off on my calendar, and it'll be like, "Send Courtney headshot." So
yeah.
That does two things. That gives that stops someone else from scheduling a meeting for me during that time. And it also allocates time for me to get emails done in my schedule. And there's nothing that feels better about finishing that and then deleting that item on my calendar. And I get it out of my inbox.
Having stuff on my calendar does not stop people from scheduling things.
Really?
Yeah, no. Because I'm on enough things that are like at the college level now where I get like thrown onto a committee about semiconductors.
Well, I am too, but I'm not on like that.
Yeah.
For the most part, most people will not schedule things with me if it's blocked off.
Yeah.
There are people that we work with who don't give a shit about. Oh, by the way, on our last podcast, I said the F word. So I had to learn how to bleep things out. So on my last, it was my own fault. Yes.
I love that you bleeped it instead of
just silenced it. Yes.
Just cutting it out.
Yeah. No,
bleeping it's fun. And I do remember you saying it, and I was like, oh, okay, we're like not PG-13 anymore. Or we are PG-13 because you're allowed one, but it needs to, I don't know.
I bleeped us. We're back at zero.
Okay.
So,
bleeping's good.
Anyway, there are some people who do not give a care in the world to what your calendar says. And so the semiconductor people are absolutely those people.
Yeah. Part of that too, because I've had some days where I have, and when I have to do like interviews with candidates for like the CFO position,
yes,
because I am like a co-chair for our faculty staff affinity group.
Yes.
And like they don't care what I have going on. Like it's just in their schedule and yes, I make time for it. Yeah. So like I've had stuff like that where I'm just like, okay, I hope nobody shows up to office hours today because I need to get on Zoom.
Right.
But there is other times in the beginning of the semester where there were still things I wanted to go to, like the faculty council meetings. And I had also already had another meeting on my schedule, and I was planning on meeting with my students. So I literally had like 3 things like stacked, and I'm just like, how am I doing all of this? I can't.
Well, that's exactly it. So then in my morning coffee, I would be like, ooh, I'm going to delete this. This is the least important, or I will find someone else to go to that and just circle back to them.
Yeah, I also am very protective of my mornings because I already know I'm going to be writing emails when I go in for 2 hours that I will make sure I'll sit there and have a glass of chocolate milk because I don't drink coffee. But
you have chocolate milk? That's so adorable.
I do. I have a glass of chocolate milk in the morning. I don't know. I have no excuses. And I will like, do some creative writing, or like I'll watch something for a bit, or I'll just sit with my cat like on my lap, because sometimes I will like try and just do creative writing on my computer, and my cat's like, no. Lizzie. She'll like come and sit there and wait for me to move my laptop, and then she'll climb on my lap, and I was like, I guess we're doing this.
This is what's happening today.
Yeah.
So I follow up my morning coffee stuff with for this whole semester, I would say 5 days a week, I do a nature walk every morning. And it's just around my neighborhood, and I'm sorry to my neighbors, like 90% of the time I'm in my pajamas. I'll just like, oh my God. And my special man friend got me like a weighted walking vest. But I think it looks so ridiculous, but I appreciate the gesture. So to compensate for that, I wear the walking vest underneath a sweatshirt, because I don't want to look like a person who thinks they're really doing something, but I'm wandering around like my neighborhood in my pajamas, which feels like it should require a wellness check. But
I was gonna say, I feel like you're one like just a newspaper away from somebody having to call somebody for
I know. It's no bathrobes, but still.
I was picturing bathrobes. I know you specified pajamas, but like when you had earlier said that you like sit in your bathrobe, I was just like, Amanda's walking around in her bathrobe just around the street.
With a weighted vest on, like an absolute lunatic. So like every morning I will take like a 1.5 to a 2 mile walk. And that was actually where I texted you the other day when because sometimes I listen to podcasts on them and sometimes I don't. It's like sometimes like it's autumn now. So I was like thinking about how happy it made me to like listen to my feet shuffle through like leaves. And no, I'm serious.
So you're walking through people's yards. It's not just on the road.
No, the leaves blow in the street.
Okay.
But like, or like the way the sun looks in like a sunrise, because the sunrise is so late now that like it's fine. So it's like 7:30 when I'm wandering around in my pajamas, and like but I don't know, like those like I try to carve out quiet moments to like at least start your day from a position of calm, and then because shit is gonna happen from then on out.
Mm-hmm. That you have no control over.
None.
Like you said earlier.
None.
Yeah.
The other day I had, first of all, I didn't get to take my morning walk because I had an early thing with like a grant I'm working on. But then I had hours sitting in my office staring at a screen for like, and I was like, I don't feel like a human right now. I feel like, so I left and I walked around campus and I went through our art gallery, which by the way is kind of a weird exhibit right now. I'm just like meh on it. But like, it was just the point of like, I talked to a couple people and I like cleared my head and I felt like a human again before I went back to emails / data on Hawaiian lava flows, because that's what I was working on.
That one of the good pieces of advice that I read was about like, because of how much work we take home with us, like don't stress out about taking a break while you're at work.
Yeah.
Right? Like take some time to go for a walk.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I will, like some days in my office hours, especially if I've been there like early, because I teach until 6:30 2 nights a week.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes on those days I have to be in at like 9 or 10 o'clock because I've got meetings and stuff that I have to do. And so by the time that I get for my 3-hour office hour block from 2 to 5, which students do show up to that one because it's in one of the classrooms, I'm just like, I've been there for I don't even know how many hours at this point. And I'm just like, they need a break. I need a break. I'm like, let's take 10 minutes and we'll just watch a try not to laugh video on YouTube, or like show me what like makes you laugh. And so we'll sit there and we'll like either we'll do that, or we'll like play like the Wordle or like some other like games that are out there online, like from the New York Times or something like that.
That's
just like
fun.
word games and stuff. So just take a moment and do it with the students too. It's nice for them to like get a break sometimes, because they don't take breaks themselves.
That is true. It is a good like mental reset for sure. On days that I'm home sometimes, like some mornings, I've had a couple mornings where I like to have like one day a week where I'm doing a bunch of cooking. And because for me, cooking is like, so most nights I'm cooking for 1 or 2 these days. So, when I'm cooking now, I'm cooking like in larger bulk and I will have it for like several days in a row. But to me, it's like a creative thing. So
I can't do that.
No? What do you mean?
I can't cook in bulk. Like I can't cook in bulk.
What do you mean? Like I'll make like a pot of soup. I'll make a pot of soup and then I'll have it like for lunch 4 days during the week. Something like that. Okay.
I know some people that cook all of their meals like on Sunday, like multiple meals like on a day for the entire week.
I've done that one week. It was brilliant. I made a quiche, which you can have for breakfast like every day, right? And then I think I made I don't even remember. Oh, I'll take this is more lunches. I don't know. I will frequently make like a pot of soup. Last week I smoked a ham. So I had like various iterations of ham throughout the week. Not just ham, but I had a lot of ham last week.
Sure.
But for me, Sundays...
Well, you are what you eat.
I know. Ha! So Sundays for me is like often a football day. So I'm home anyway. So I can do laundry and do a little cooking and watch some football, and sometimes I'll grade. And this week is a bye week, which I'm sure is fascinating to you. But
I don't know what that means.
that means that my team doesn't play this week.
Got
So
it.
it's remarkable how much time that opens up. It seems like it shouldn't, but it does.
Why is that called a bye week?
I don't know, because bye bye. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's called bye week. I have no idea why.
Okay. I do. I also have like scheduled fun stuff that I do. So like I will have a weekly phone call with a friend, and this is actually something that I started in grad school. One of my friends from undergrad, who I was like, I want to stay in touch with people, and so I set up like a time to talk with him once a week,
Awesome.
and we would read a book and do like a little book group, and then we would kind of sometimes not even talk about the book, and we'd go the whole hour chatting without even talking about the book that like we read
Fun.
100 pages of.
Uh-huh.
But I've been doing that with him for like 8 years now.
Yay.
So that lets me like forces me to like do some reading and take some quiet time to myself.
Yeah.
But it's also like an enjoyable part of my day that I can look forward to, which is nice.
That's for sure. Yeah, so one of the things that I love and hate about work is that because on your calendar there is flexible time, it can lead to wildly unproductive time at the office. And during COVID, I did definitely gain an appreciation for being able to just plow through work and then be done sometimes. And so I love that when I go to work, any of like a dozen people may just show up in my office, and that's unexpected fun. And sometimes it's unexpected problems. But like other times I find myself in my head being like, I hear my email like dinging in the background, and I'm like, wrap it up, fun is over. Like, but yeah. So that for me has been a struggle. So I have a hybrid work schedule for the most part, which works and doesn't. Like I don't have classes on Mondays or Fridays, so I could hypothetically have a 4-day weekend every week, which I think has happened.
But then it's hard to
once.
get stuff done.
Yes and no. It depends on how like motivated you are to work at home.
That's fair.
Like when I'm at home on Mondays and Fridays, typically I do like 80% of my work those 2 days. And like Tuesday, Thursday is mostly for like networking type stuff.
Got it.
And oh yeah, classes and office hours and meetings.
Yeah. I do a lot of work at home, but I just know that but I have space to do that. Like I will sit at my desk, and like when I'm at my desk, it's like work time.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Well, it's also hard in a 1-bedroom apartment because my office is my living room, is my like dining room, but like it's fine.
So I am in a split level, as you know now, and so
Yeah.
my office is also my kitchen is just over there,
Right.
and then my living room is right here. So it's wildly public. So when there are people in my house, they have no like I lost the word. They have no sense of
Qualms.
like no qualms in interrupting me because I'm in like the public floor. And so in
Right.
some ways I do miss having like in my old house before I moved, I had a private office, and that was nice because if the door was closed, it meant leave me alone. Sort of. Children don't always care, but and neither do other adults. But like here, it happens all the time. All the time. I mean, you and I have been recording podcasts, and kids have just walked in and been like, "Do you know where my steel-toed boots are?" And I'm like, anyway.
I know. Do you not see what I am doing, child?
I'm changing the world now. Find your own shoes. So, do you ever take time to like completely unplug during the semester or after the semester?
I would love to, but I can't. It's hard to.
Uh-huh.
Like, I would love to go a whole weekend and not answer emails or like turn the TV on. But the problem is that any like creative writing is one of my hobbies and outlets. I work on the computer for that. I could write by hand, but then I'm gonna have to type it up anyways.
It's true.
So like, what's the point?
Yeah.
And I also, if I just need to like veg out, like the TV's there, or like I'll play some games, right?
Yep.
So it's hard to not to have zero screen time,
Yeah.
but I do try to like make sure that I schedule something fun on the weekends, and
Yeah.
I don't like just go the whole weekend grading quizzes or like thinking about curriculum proposals. That I will either go for a hike or I will have some physical board game that I will go somewhere and play
Uh-huh.
with somebody. So,
That is really important.
but that's the extent to which I can unplug is when I'm there doing those things. I make sure when I'm doing those things, like I'm not on my phone. Like I don't use my phone when I'm in those
That's
spaces. So,
good. So, I try I think this is like an age thing. I think a lot of things that's happening to me lately are age things. But I
like the rage.
the oh my god. Oh, did I tell you that story with our
You
provost? Oh,
did.
it was so fun.
Yes.
Oh my god. Our provost walked in at the wrong time in a conversation and got an earful from several women about perimenopausal rage and really wished he had not inquired. Let's just say. But so I had I was thinking about this the other day about how when I was your age, it was very normal for me on a Friday night, on almost every Friday night, when classes let out, and it was maybe 3 or 4 in the afternoon on a Friday, to go to happy hour. And sometimes happy hour was like 30 minutes, and sometimes happy hour was a few hours, and occasionally happy hour was really like a long time. But probably in a month, I would go to happy hour at least twice. And the thought of going to happy hour now is so unattractive to me that like
Yeah.
I, this Friday night, for example, I got in my pajamas and I got some chips and dip, and I went to Jessica's house, and she was also in her pajamas, and she made vegetarian chili. And first we watched a live cam, which, by the way, I'm going to talk about live cams in just a second. Nature live cams, not any sort of
Thank you
adult.
for specifying.
Just to be clear,
I was like starting to like lay out the whole scenario, and I knew what you were talking about because I'm aware of like the eagle one
yes,
that we've talked about before. But I was just like, wait a minute, wait, nobody else.
I'm
knows.
coming back to that stream. Okay, so but we got and we ate like chili, and we watched a docudrama from 2005 called Super Volcano, and it was wildly terrible and also fun. But like that is what I want to do on a Friday night. Like the thought of like talking at a bar to people that I don't want to talk to is just
Or that you spent all week talking to, and it's just like, yeah.
yeah.
No, I was thinking like the only thing that appeals to me is like when Jessica and I were over at the fire at your house.
Yes.
I was like, that's low key. We can complain about work as much as we want.
Yes.
But like, we're not at a bar being like, can I leave yet? Is it weird if I leave?
Yes.
Like, why am I like, this is not how I want to spend my energy. This is not the energy that I want to be in.
Why am I still wearing real pants? That's the question.
Yeah, that's what it is. I was actually like saddened by and debated going back to my apartment when I realized that I did not pack shorts for like when we were at your house, and I like rolled my pants all the way up to my knees so
like,
I could just.
This is the worst.
It's so bad.
So actually, the live cam is something I use at work too. So. Last spring, we were wildly obsessed with this eagle cam in California where there were 2 eagles that were raising eggs and then baby eaglets. And then they flew from the nest, and it was beautiful. And so then and my students were invested in it also. Then time went by, and this fall, I found the Katmai National Park bear cams, and so for a couple of weeks we watched so many giant fat bears eat salmon. It was the best. But then
is this the one where they do like the bear competition?
Yes, the Fat Bear Week.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh my God.
Fat Bear Week.
Yes. Speaking of live cams, and then so then that ends. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
So that ends, and then I am once again live camless. And so I discovered in the way that Christopher Columbus discovered America, I
Ooh,
discovered,
I,
yeah, this live cam in the Namib, Namib, the Namib Desert in Namibia. And there is a water hole, and it is in the grasslands, and it is so good. Like, you never know what's going to happen on this live cam. Sometimes there's just like there's ibex and oryx, those like quadrupeds with crazy antlers. Sometimes there's jackals and there's ostriches. And I'm gonna be completely vulnerable with you here. When there was an ostrich on the screen, I was like, don't ostriches live in only in Australia? And then I had to Google it. My Google search this week is like, what do you call coyotes that live in Africa? Answer, jackals.
yeah.
And do ostriches live in Africa? Those are the things I Google. But there'll be zebras that come through and warthogs, and they roll around in the water. It is so great.
I actually am having the reverse thing right now and wondering if they have ostriches in Australia.
It might not be.
But
I don't know.
okay.
Destroy.
I mean, they were in The Lion King, so I'm assuming.
Well, I didn't remember them in The Lion King, but apparently they were. Oh, and porcupines. Did you know there are porcupines in Africa? I am like having. This is going to be like a moment that is going to be replayed sometime when they're like, you know how smart Professor Colosimo is? Be like, did you know there are porcupines in Africa? But there are. But they're not shaped the way porcupines are in New York. Like, they look like they have mohawks. I'm sorry to all of our listeners.
It's fine.
Either way, the live cam is something I'll have up on my screen like when I'm at work. Also, so that when people walk in my office, it's the first thing they see that I'm doing, so they don't see all of the deeply perimenopausal rage-filled emails that I'm writing. So they just see that I'm looking at zebras.
I don't feel like they look that different from like U.S. porcupines.
I don't know. Gentle readers, oh, they're not readers, gentle listeners, let us know. Do a little Google search yourself. Tell us what you think about porcupines in Africa. Do they look like the North American porcupine? Inquiring minds want to know.
I don't know. We're 40 minutes into this episode, and I'm wondering what our like takeaways are for people.
Was this not our most useful episode when I started with like, you'll never find balance, just let go of that construct?
I definitely think there were some like small tidbits that people can walk away with.
I think so too.
I don't think we tried to set the episode up that way where it was like, here's some nice bullet points. But if they do some work, I think there will be some tidbits in there.
There's some gems in this pile of crap. Good luck to you. So do you have anything else that you do to like, well, so I think actually you talked about that, prioritizing like, the important stuff. So prioritizing time with friends, prioritizing time with that you doing your hobbies.
And also prioritizing like what work things need to get to, what work things I need to get to when. So when I sit down to write emails, either at the start of the day or when I'm back from class, I will go through all of the new emails that have come in.
Yes, yes.
And I will take a look at each of them one at a time, and I'll go, is this something I can answer right now? If it is, I will do it, like real quick. If I can't, I will pin it so it goes up to the top, because I use the Outlook web version, which allows me to pin emails.
Yep.
So they will go to the top of my email list. And then I will just go through all of them, all 15 of them that came in the hour that I was teaching class, and I sort them that way. And then when that's done, I will go back up and then like work my way like through the full list of things that I need to respond to, thinking about what needs to be handled now. What do I want to keep pinned so it's a reminder that I still have to start doing the summer 2026 schedule. Like I'll leave that pinned for later.
What I would do is delete that email and block it off on your calendar.
No.
That's fine.
That's not how I operate, and I can't do that because when I do block it off on my calendar, I can guarantee you that is like I will get moved because
It can
other
be moved
stuff will be in
though.
the way.
That's a movable thing.
I know, but I like to just have a running. And I do this on my whiteboard in my office too. I want
You
to just a
do.
running list of the things that I need. So I can see them at all times.
Okay.
Like I don't want to put it on my calendar and then just forget about it until like my calendar reminds me about it.
Okay.
I want to be able to just kind of have it in my peripheral. So like I'm aware it's there. Even if I'm not going to look directly at it.
Have you ever done like well, you do it what you're talking about doing, you can actually do in Microsoft in Outlook. It's either like tasks or like there is a to-do app and it'll just
Mm.
you can do it like digitally. So then if you're at home or at work, you can always pull up the same list so you don't have to worry about like having it in your visual.
Yeah, that's true. That feels like extra
I
steps
agree.
like that I need to remember to check the to-do list where it's like it's on my whiteboard, it's on my calendar. So like my daily like to-do list breakdown that I
Yep.
have stays on the top of my clipboard.
Do you realize that like
Um
half of this episode is literally like how to deal with your stupid emails? Like that's really what we've been talking about most of the time.
Faculty balance. You
Slash
should you
email
should clip that.
management. Yeah.
Faculty balance. Uh
So, years ago, I was like uber stressed out about just like, I felt like I was doing too many things and none of them well.
yeah.
And I think it was like a spring semester because the spring semesters are so long. And someone was like, you can't pour into another person when your own cup is empty. So you have to like refill, you have to take time to like refill your cup.
Was that Terry?
No, it was
Okay.
one of our vice presidents. But
Oh,
I'll let you
that's
think.
more ominous
It
then.
is. I'll let you
Yeah.
speculate.
No, it's good. Yeah, yeah.
But then I heard that your cup should always be full because you should fill your cup first, and then anything that overflows your cup is like what other people get. And I kind of like
Is this
that more.
an emergency airline video? Is that
That's
what?
right. Yeah, put on your
Fill
own
your own cup
oxygen
first
mask,
before.
mask first. Exactly. Exactly. But I do think that's true. And I do think if you fill your own cup, and I think, just to be all sexist about it, I think that women are more guilty of not filling their own cup first.
I think that's just society's fault.
I agree.
I would agree with you. I am not disagreeing with you on that fact. I think that is just because of the. I'm not even going to comment on that. Never mind. I'm agreeing with you. You take it from
No,
here.
I was just going to say that I have known many men over my life. Many, many men. I'm just kidding. But they all
Watching
fill
live cams in your pajamas. You know,
wandering my
men
neighborhood like a lunatic
in your robe.
with my weighted vest. Filling my own
Happening.
damn cup. So
From the neighbor's garden
that's
hose.
right. I'm like, I'm filling my cup. So wow, we are unhinged. This is weird energy on a Sunday afternoon.
This is not what I was thinking when I said weird energy.
But I do think, in fact, the new president for the faculty senate was in my office this week, and she told me that her previous Saturday night was spent writing an academic policy for the college. And I was like, time out, my dear. And I think this is true of no matter where you work, that
Yeah.
your company slash school slash institution will take every ounce of you that you let it take.
For sure. Yeah.
And that can happen to the detriment of your personal life, of your personal health, of your mental health. And so I am super protective of that now, because I am guilty of letting that happen. So I would say that if you don't fill your own cup first, no one else is going to fill it for you.
Yeah. One of the things that I realized, I think, this past week is that I actually haven't given up anything. Like I've been doing
I've
the
been
chair
telling
position.
you this.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I thought about it.
Get yourself a bathrobe and enjoy your life.
Just walk around. But I don't feel like I felt a need to. Like when I was going into this, I was going to be mindful of how I was spending my time, and I don't think I'm like I don't know if I'm working any more like than I was
So
previously.
then what is decreasing in time?
How do you
So
mean?
if you're working the same number of hours overall, um,
I'm not teaching like a
okay, so you're
full like
teaching.
I'm not teaching a whole lecture with two labs until 9 o'clock like 2 nights a week.
Okay.
So like
So
I'm
you
home.
have given some things up. You have given up.
Well, yeah, but I had to give up that
Right.
to do the department
Right.
stuff. Like it was just more of that like I haven't had to give up anything else is
Okay.
I guess what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, I've got a whole less 9 FCH that I'm not doing.
Good.
Like, yeah. But everything else has been fine. I was worried about managing my time still advising to student groups.
Yeah.
And I had even like talked to someone in student life being like, hey, keep an eye out if there's any other advisors for this group because I'm just in case like I get too busy, I want to make sure that we have somebody else that can actually like work with the students if I have to give this up. I don't want to. We're gonna see how it goes.
Right.
But I haven't had to, which is nice. And I realized this like as we're headed into week 9, that I'm like, oh, I can still do this. Like because I wanted to, and it's meaningful for me
Yeah.
to be there for the students in that way.
So let me just devil's advocate for you. So you've had
Yeah.
semesters where, like, in each of those clubs, you've had like crises pop up, right? Especially with one more than the other, I would say. Have you had any like big old issues like you've had? Because that's part of it. When everything is running as
Yeah.
it's supposed to be running, like, cool. Like, yeah, you can
Right.
keep the wheels on the car then.
I had a student officer message me to tell me that somebody 3D printed
Oh wait, you gotta say, yeah, yeah. Maybe you shouldn't say
like
this. Oh, you did. You followed all up with everything.
I followed up on all of this. That like somebody 3D printed it and big quotes around this, like something that resembled a gun. And I like looked at it and I was like, it is the equivalent of something you would get at a dollar store. Um, and I like immediately reached out to the student that had printed it and I was like, hey, please turn this back in. Like I have to make a report. Like this is my job. And like they brought it in and it's like smaller than the palm of my hand. And like he was just interested in how the springs worked because it was spring loaded and he was just playing with it with his cat. And I'm like, I have to report this. This is the stupidest thing that I've ever gonna have to report. And then I went to report it. Everybody had out of office messages because they're all handling their balance time perfectly well. But I still reported it and they were like, it sounds like you handled everything the way you needed to. Like, we're not worried about it. And I was like, great, sounds good. So, but like, yeah, that happened. That was like 2 days of my life, like trying to be like, how am I handling this? This is
It
ridiculous,
is.
but I have
It
to handle
was. It
this.
was
Yeah.
ridiculous. Well, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, and it was fine. It was fine. And I handled that.
Hmm.
Again, triage stuff. It was like that was like the priority for a second, and then it was handled.
So
So
in our book club this week, I left there and I was like fighting the urge to like. So do you remember when we first started book club? We said one of the things we were not going to do was create unsustainable side projects.
yep.
I fight the
But I was
urge.
already working on a side project before we started that though.
Okay.
So does that count as it grandfathered in? Like
That's fine. I don't think that breaks the rules. But like I was like, okay, this isn't like a side project if I make like little tweaks, right? Like it's not like but I'm not going to go and burn down any buildings today. I'm just going to tweak what is in my I felt like I was staying within the bounds of
Sure.
the ground rules that we set. Like what is in our sphere to change? What what are we yeah, anyway.
I'm prioritizing getting like a resource space for LGBTQ students because they don't have that. But I've been laying the groundwork and like putting a little bit here and a little bit there
Yeah,
and like giving a little bit to this person, a little bit to this person. So that way when I do have to like knock down some doors that like
you're like
it's like there.
here. It's
Right.
like,
I was like, here's the data. Like I'm already like I should reach out to some other resource spaces at other colleges and see what their model is
yeah,
and what they do. And so then I can show up with some data and be like, this is what other colleges do. And then somebody will actually listen probably
for a minute, probably.
for a minute.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's good. It's good. All right. Well, I don't feel like this was totally wasteful.
No, I think it was good.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. What are we doing next time on as a teaser? We're filling our
Give me
cups.
a,
We're wandering our neighborhoods in bathrobes.
I actually feel recharged right now. So like I said, we're good. Like when we do this, I know that it's like, hey, we're working on a Sunday at like 4 to 5 p.m. But there's no football game, so it's
It's all
okay.
good. It's all good. Go Bills.
Oh, we're gonna talk about our favorite students.
Oh, that'll be such a fun episode.
That'll be a fun episode.
Not just our favorite students, but why students become your favorite students. And
Yeah. And then how can we turn some of our students into our favorite students,
how
right?
can we make them the way we want them to be?
Exactly. Change them. We can change them.
Stay tuned for mind control in our next episode.
Keep your coffee hot.
Oh my God. Later on.
I don't know. I don't like
I
it.
don't like it.
Faculty balance.